Hi, I'm Sarah Horn, and I'm the librarian at South High School in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'm on the Practical Machine Learning team for this year's WySTACK session. My topic for my research project was ethics and artificial intelligence, and my project ended up having two kind of separate parts. The first part was a literature review and a short survey, both centered around ethical implications of AI. And then for the second part, I did an educational piece where I built some lessons around some awesome resources I found from MIT's daily workshop and their AI ethics education curriculum. So for my literature review, I read a bunch of different research studies and articles that had already been done on ethics and AI. It's such a fast-changing field that it seemed like new articles on the topic were coming out as I was working on my project. So it was really cool to get to see those discussions and events playing out in real time. And what I learned is that there are so many ethical implications that go along with AI. Like, it's just a huge area, and it was almost hard to kind of distill it down into just one project. Some of the main concerns that I saw when I was doing my literature review were bias in data sets, privacy and safety, lack of transparency, and unintended consequences. And a couple of really interesting things that I came across as I was doing my reading was I read an article on the ethics of AI ethics, and they had looked at a study where there was two different groups of computer science engineers. They were both going to be assigned the same machine learning task to build the model, and one group was giving ethical guidelines and the other one wasn't. And then they had them build it, and it turned out that the ethical guidelines had no impact on how they built that model. And so then kind of the question became like, do ethical guidelines matter? We spend a lot of time developing them. We feel like they're going to make a difference, but if people don't follow them, do they matter? And how are we going to make sure that ethical AI is built and that we're using it in ethical ways? And then the other one that was really interesting looked at sentient and sapient AI, which is in the future, but it was a cool article, and it talked about, like, once they become sentient and sapient, are they human? What kind of rights do they have? You know, if they commit a crime, are they going to spend the same amount of time in jail as a human, even if their understanding of time is different? If an AI wants to reproduce, they can do that a lot faster than a human, so how are we going to manage that? If they've done something bad, is it their fault or is it their developer's fault? So it just looked like a lot of different deeper considerations for the future. And I had a lot of conversations with friends and family as I was doing this reading on these topics, and it led me to be interested in how much does the general public know about how AI works and the ethics kind of involved with that. So then I put together a short survey and put it out. So I got 171 responses. I kind of went into it thinking, like, people probably know about AI and have maybe thought about ethics, but not really. They don't understand how it works. They haven't thought about it on a deeper level. And I was pleasantly surprised. They really did. Everybody had heard of it. They were able to pick out the correct definition on how it works. They understood it was created differently. The one that really kind of surprised me was this one on potential ethical concerns. I gave them these top few choices, and I thought that job displacement would be the most pressing concern, because that had come up in a lot of the articles that I read, but that was actually the lowest. They were most concerned about privacy and data security, lack of transparency, discrimination, and then job displacement. And I was also really surprised with this other category where they could add an answer. The respondents really put some deep thinking things in here that showed me like they really have considered the ethical implications of AI. So it was cool to get to see some of that. And then I took what I learned here and I'm going to transfer it into lessons for my students. So I wanted something that I could use with students in lots of different content areas, and was applicable to all students regardless of whether they took computer science classes or not, because I think this is an important topic for everyone to know about. And so I took what I had learned and I transferred it over and put together a 6-lesson mini unit, and one of the lessons uses Google's Teachable Machine. And so I started off the unit kind of looking at how AI models are built, how machine learning works, and then springboard that into ethics. So this is the current version of Teachable Machine, but if you scroll down, you can go to the very first version. And I was going to have students start here just to kind of see how it works. And then they're going to end up programming their own models in the current version. And I'm going to give them a biased data set and have them program that. And so then we'll talk about how it performed, and then have them look at kind of what the machine did, and then how do we fix that data set to make the machine less biased, and then they're going to get to build their own version. So this is version 1, so we'll train our model really quick. So I'm going to train green, I'm going to wave, and anytime I wave, my model is going to be trained to show this cat. And then I'll train purple. And I'm just going to sit there. And then anytime it shows purple, it's going to show this Pomeranian. And then I will train orange. And I have to do more because I didn't start right away. And then anytime I do this, it should show this little bunny. So then kids can see how the data works when you input data into your machine. So there's my cat. There's my Pomeranian. And here's my bunny. And then we'll use that kind of as a springboard to talk about how they work and then move into them creating their own model and doing the ethical conversations. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to get to do that with students and really get them excited to delve into the world of AI. So I've learned a ton this summer. I've had a great time. I've really enjoyed my experience in WySTACK.